Have you ever stopped and felt like you're working for your browser instead of your browser, working for you? We're right at the beginning of this massive shift in how we use the internet. We're moving away from just finding information to having a browser that actually does things for us. And this isn't some small update, it's a total revolution. So let's dive in and see what that really looks like. So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to define what an AI browser even is. Then, we'll see how it can be your personal research assistant and a powerful automation engine. After that, we'll check out a frankly mind-blowing example of building a business in just minutes. And finally, we'll get into the super important stuff, privacy, and what's coming next. All right, so to kick things off, what in the world is this new category of tool? Well, to really get it, we first have to talk about a problem that I'm willing to bet we all know way too well. No, really, think about it. How much of your day is spent just juggling dozens of tabs, manually copying something from one window and pasting it into another? All this repetitive digital busy work. It honestly feels like we're just assistants to our own web browsers. This right here is the fundamental shift. Your traditional browser, think Chrome, Safari, it's a passive tool. You ask it to find stuff, and it finds it. Simple. But an AI browser, like the one Perplexity is building called Comet, it's an active partner. You give it a task, and it goes out and actually executes it for you. So the secret sauce here is something called an AI agent. Now, deep down, these agents are powered by large language models, kind of like ChatGPT. And this is the crucial part, they can also see your screen and interact with it. They can click buttons, fill out forms, you name it. It's not just a chatbot stuck in a sidebar. It's like having an autonomous assistant who can click, type, and navigate across a bunch of different sites, just like a real person would. Okay, so that's the theory, but how does this actually translate into the real world? Let's look at the first huge use case, how this tech completely changes the game for doing research. I mean, the sheer amount of stuff these agents can do for research it's just staggering. Instead of you spending hours digging through articles, the agent does the heavy lifting. You need a summary of a 5-hour YouTube course? Done. You want to find the exact moment someone said a specific quote in a video? It'll jump right to the timestamp. It can even go to the IRS website for you, which is a nightmare to navigate, and find a specific PDF, like a W-9 form, so you don't have to. We have all been there. You start a research project, and before you know it, you've got 50 tabs open and everything's a chaotic mess. It's impossible to keep track of it all, but an AI browser can actually understand the context of all those open pages. So check out this workflow. First, you just ask the agent to clean up your mess by organizing all the relevant tabs into what Perplexity calls a workspace. But here's where it gets cool. It doesn't stop there. You can then ask it to read all the sources in that workspace and pull out the common themes for you. And finally, it can take that summary and just pop it right into a new Google Doc or a Notion page. It's a complete end-to-end research machine. Okay, so organizing research is one thing, and it's amazing. But what about automating all those boring, tedious tasks that just eat up our days? Let's take a look at how these agents can basically put your browser on autopilot. Does this number give you a little bit of anxiety? Yeah, me too. This is the number of unread emails in one person's inbox. It's the perfect symbol of that digital overload that just feels completely impossible to deal with. Well, here's the solution. You can literally just tell the AI agent, hey, go through my email and unsubscribe me from anything that looks like spam or marketing. And the agent will just do it. It'll go through your inbox, find those promotional emails, click the unsubscribe links, and clean up all that clutter for you totally hands-free. Now, for businesses, this is where the power really starts to scale. You can set up an agent to be your own 24/7 monitoring engine. I mean, imagine telling it to scan Reddit for any questions that signal someone might want to buy your product, and then just email you a summary every morning, or have it constantly monitor job boards for candidates with a very specific skill set and build a list for you. And you can apply that same idea to an entire sales prospecting workflow. You can give the agent your ideal customer profile, right? It'll then scour the web to find companies that match. After that, it'll research those companies, find key contacts, and then actually draft personalized outreach emails based on that research, saving them all as drafts in your Gmail. This automates literally hours of manual, tedious work. Okay, now for what might be the most mind-blowing application we've seen yet. We've seen agents do research, we've seen them handle tasks, but what if? What if an agent could help you build the entire digital foundation for a business from scratch in just a few minutes? So here's the setup. You find a successful online business, maybe one selling digital products like AI prompt packs, and your goal is to analyze what they're doing right and create a similar, fully functional business of your own. Normally, this is a project that would take weeks, maybe even months. This is it. This is the simple, exact prompt that was given to the AI agent. The user just went to the competitor's website and told the agent to scan every single page, figure out its structure, and create a blueprint that could be used by a web application builder called Horizons. The agent literally clicked through the entire site all by itself. And the result is just, it's incredible. That blueprint was pasted into Horizons, and within minutes, it generated a brand new, fully functional website. And we're not just talking about a landing page. It built the backend, the user login system, and even the digital products themselves. The entire foundation for a business built without writing a single line of code. So the power here is just undeniable, but it also brings up some really important questions. So let's wrap up by looking at the practical side of things, like privacy, how these new browsers stack up against each other, and what this all means for the future. Let's talk privacy, because it's a big deal. For an AI agent to be useful, it needs context, right? Which means it needs access to your browsing data. Now, you can and absolutely should block it from sensitive sites like your bank. But the top recommendation from the power users is actually pretty simple and effective. Create a completely separate, isolated Google account just for your AI agent tasks. That way, your personal, sensitive data stays completely walled off. Naturally, competition is heating up fast in this space. And when you put two of the early players head-to-head, Perplexity's Comet and OpenAI's new model, Atlas, you start to see some differences. For instance, in some real-world tests, Comet was consistently faster at finding specific video clips. It could also handle tricky tasks, like repeatedly refreshing a page, waiting for a button to appear, something Atlas had trouble with. Now, the tech is evolving super fast, but for now, Comet seems to have an edge in raw, practical capability. So this brings us to the final and most important question. For years and years, the browser has just been a window, something we use to view the internet. Now it's becoming a tool for acting on the internet. This huge shift from passive consumption to active creation, it's not just happening in our browsers. It's part of a much bigger move toward AI partners in pretty much every field. So the only real question left is, when your browser can do almost anything you ask it to, what will you have it do? What will you build?